Hi, David Healy here. I just want to show you a new sample library that I've been working on. This is something me and my brother sampled a few months ago, and it's a Stylophone. We've enhanced it a bit from the real thing to give it more playability and some other things you can do with a virtual version that you can't do with the real version, but it's essentially just as good as the real thing. We'll do a comparison in a minute and see if we can spot the differences. But let's look at the instrument first of all. So standard Kontakt 4 instrument will run in Kontakt 5 as well. We've got these controls here, and these are similar to what you get on the real Stylophone, but we've added this legato, this chorus, and the round robin control. On the real Stylophone you also have a vibrato control, and we've got that as well, but we don't have it as a switch like you do on the real thing. Instead it's controlled by the mod wheel, and that allows you to vary the intensity of the vibrato, which is something you can't do with the real thing. We've added a high pass filter and a low pass filter and pitch control. Now again, the pitch control is on the real Stylophone. I think the one that we've put on here might have a slightly higher range, I'm not too sure. Now I've also increased the playable range of the Stylophone because the real thing only has about an octave, a couple more keys than an octave that's playable. So we've extended that to 3 full octaves. The real Stylophone has 3 sounds, so we've copied each of those, sampled each of those 3 sounds, and they're controllable via this slider here. This isn't a switch, it's a slider, so you've got to click and hold to move it. These are switches, so you just click on them. The sound can also be selected using the key switches, that's these red keys. And that's pretty much the basic controls. So let's do a comparison between the real thing and the Kontakt instrument. So for those of you who haven't seen a Stylophone before, this is the new updated version, it's not an original. So you've got this is a stylus, hence the name, and basically the metal tip on that connects through a wire. When you touch it against the metal keys it makes a circuit, and that creates a sound. And it's, a minute, I've got a tangle in my wire. It's monophonic because you've only got one stylus. But that's pretty much it. There's a volume control on the side, and on the back there's a tuning control, a pitch control. And it sounds something like this. It's a really sort of annoying sound, just naked like this, but and I don't know if you can hear that, but if I turn the instrument off, when the stylus hits the metal keys there's a distinct sort of tapping sound. So we've sampled that sound as well, and that's in the virtual instrument, that's controlled by velocity. Second sound, it's probably going to be loud, so I'll turn the volume down on this one. Third sound, it's quite piercing. Something like that. Okay, and the vibrato control is just a single switch, so it's not variable, it's just on off. Try a different sound with it. You get the idea. That's with vibrato, that's without. Okay. Alright, let's have a look at the virtual version and see what the main differences are. So let's just compare the sounds first of all. So I'll put sound 1 on. This is on the real Stylophone, and I'm just going to play. I'll play a D. And I'll do the same on the virtual one. Okay, now I'll do sound 2. Same note on the Stylophone. I've just used the key switch there to switch the sounds on the Kontakt version. And now the third sound. This is the real one. This is the instrument in Kontakt. Now you're hearing that coming out of my speakers and going into the microphone, so when you get it on your own system it might sound a bit more clear than that. Okay, so the things we've changed, or the things we've added, the legato, the chorus and the round robin, we'll look at those in a second. We've got the high pass filter, so I'll just gonna put this back on sound 1 because I think that's the least annoying, and I'll just play I'll just hit a key and turn the filter up. So you can adjust that in real time. If you right click on the button, you can add MIDI automation to it. Same with the low pass and the pitch. So you can automate all of those. The low pass filter. Standard stuff, and the pitch tuning knob. And the pitch knob on the real thing sounds like this. To reset any of these knobs, you just put the cursor over them, hold Control, might be Command on a Mac, and click. And it'll reset them to the default values. Alright, let's look at the chorus effect. So we've got the normal tone, and the chorus effect is just an on-off switch, and it just sort of bulks up the sound a bit. Okay, just to show you with it off again. The legato effect is to kind of simulate when you drag the stylus across the keys on the real Stylophone. So when that's on, the instrument is in a monophonic mode, and it'll just sort of smooth out the playing. And it works like the legato on most Kontakt instruments, where you hold down the previous key and play the next one, and it'll transition between the notes. So I'll play a little phrase, 3-note phrase with that off, with the legato off, and then I'll put the legato on and you can hear the difference. So this is legato off, and this is with it on. Off, on. So you can hear it just sort of smooth it out a bit. I don't know how well this is coming through on the microphone, but hopefully you'll be able to hear the stylus taps we recorded. You can probably just hear my keyboard keys there, but I'll solo the taps in Kontakt and you'll be able to hear them a bit better. I'll turn the volume up. So those are the stylus taps, and they'll play in the background of every tone as you're playing. And the volume of those taps is modulated by velocity. So it's just like on a real stylophone, the harder you tap, the louder the tap sound. So what else do we have? We've got the round robin. Now this is a simulated round robin effect. It uses the samples adjacent to the key that's being played and retunes them to match the correct pitch of the pressed key. So this is with the round robin off. I'm just going to play a single key. So in here it produces the same tone every time. And now I'll put the round robin on. So hopefully you can hear there's some variation in there. And there's micro tuning going on and all kinds of other little subtleties being added to make it sound different every time you hit the key. We've added release triggers to this instrument, so as you lift off the key you get the sound of the stylus coming off the stylophone keys. So we've also made the instrument polyphonic, which is something that you can't achieve on a real stylophone. When it's in the legato mode, however, it is still monophonic. But I'll play something now with the polyphony enabled. Try a different sound. Play around with the pitch here. Now let's have a listen to the vibrato. So this is similar to the vibrato on the real stylophone, but you can increase the intensity of it, so it's not just an on-off thing. So this is controlled by the mod wheel. So at about this position it's similar to what you get on the real stylophone. But you can take it further. And then you can fade out completely, and that works with the polyphonic playing as well. You've also got the pitch bend, of course. We haven't done anything to that, so that'll just work as usual. And that's an alternative to the pitch knob we've put on here. If you're not happy with the sound of the vibrato, or you want to change it in any way, you can actually go into the back end of Kontakt and do that. It doesn't require any scripting, so I'll just show you that now. So you click on the wrench icon up at the top here, and then you'll want to display the groups, so click the group editor. And these are the three sample groups, one group for each sound basically, the three sounds of the stylophone. And down here we've got a thing called modulation. If you click that drop down arrow and you can actually see the modulator here. So when we're using the modulator, this is all we're affecting. And each of these three groups have their own modulator. But you can see we're using a sine wave, but if you fancy changing that to triangle or rectangle or sawtooth or square, you can go through there and have a play around and try and get a different sound. But I think the sine wave is the closest we managed to get to the real stylophone, so that's why we left that one in. You can also change the frequency and the fade time as well if you want to. Have a play around with that, get something that sounds good to you. So I think that about sums up this instrument. It's a nice little thing, retro type sound to it. It'll be available on Sampleism quite soon, sampleism.com, and it'll be on our website in a few weeks probably. We're getting a new website done, so when that new website goes up, all our instruments will be there, and the tutorial videos and stuff like that. And when that link's available, I'll put it in the video description. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me on Facebook or Twitter, or put a comment on YouTube, and I'll get back to you. Bye for now.